Hey watch fans, Brad from Brent Miller Jewelers. And today I happen to have all four black Tudor Pelagos models in stock. And I thought real quick, I would just ask you, if you could pick any of these, which one is your preference and which one would you rather wear? Again, I had some others, but I'm not going to include the FXD models and nor the blue here. I think just the black dial Pelagos is something that I haven't had all four of these in stock at the exact same time. So I thought I'd get them out side by side here and just really ask you, pose that question for you. I'll list or link prior videos and specs of all these. I'm not going to go over all the specs in great detail in this video. This is just more aesthetically. Which one do you really prefer? So on my left here is the P39, the Pelagos 39 model, and what I think is the original Pelagos model, the very first one they introduced here, just with the black and white combination. So again, I've done videos on these. Maybe I'll even link that in the video, comparing these, going over them with a fine-tooth comb, the subtle differences. But just real quick, taking a look, the biggest one to me here is you have the sunburst kind of dial as well as the, it is a matte ceramic, but you can see it's brushed where you have just the markings were very matte on the 42 here. So again, 39 millimeter versus 42. And then the biggest difference to me is that chapter ring, or how those markers sit inside of that, almost causing that 3D effect, which to me is one of the great features of the Pelagos model. Would love to see that on all of them across the lineup, and I'll get to the other ones here shortly. You can see that is not the case here on the 39. So again, 39, the 42, and then let's just go a little here. I'll keep the 42 on my left, and I'll move the new one to my right here. This is the LHD, left-hand drive. Again, 42, same case as this one. You can see here the markers, just a little bit more of an eggshell color, a little bit more, maybe I'll say vintage inspired, just the coloring. But then you have that roulette date wheel. So you have the red on the even numbers, which I absolutely love. A little bit of red text here. Pop of color, left-hand drive. Again, very similar, but you have the same markers in that chapter ring for that 3D effect. And then last but certainly not least, I guess I'll leave this one up again, is the newest 43 millimeter Ultra, which if you didn't see that video, I'll link that one as well. The specs and the way they designed this one wears very well, even though it's a larger case. I think in that video I actually said I prefer the larger watch, which isn't always the case. Just the proportions are a little bit better, not quite as blocky. Hopefully you can see that there, lug to lug, all of that fun stuff. Again, I'll link all that or list all that in the description if you want to go further into that. Again, remove a line of text as well. However, on the Ultra, you don't get those markers kind of recessed into that chapter ring, which again, I think is a standout feature and design on the original 42 and would be my preference of the group. So inevitably someone's going to ask, I try not to give too many of my opinions. I'm one guy, just one opinion from one person who just loves watches. So, however, someone's going to inevitably ask, so I'll just state it now. I admittedly was a prior owner of the 39. Didn't keep it all that long, if I'm being honest. I think it had to do with the sunburst dial. Something just, I don't know, didn't quite sit with me. I've been known to flip watches throughout my collecting. So again, it's not out of the ordinary that I flip something relatively quickly, but didn't stick around very long. If it was me, I think I would take this LHD in a 39 millimeter case and call it a day. Love the red on the date wheel, the text here. I love, the more I look at these, just having those markers in that chapter ring. I've said it a couple times already. So to me, that is a design feature I want on my Pelagos model. And that's something I would appreciate. Again, if this model here had it, maybe. I do like the coloring of the text. But for me, out of these four, if I had my opinion, or had my pick, I should say, I obviously have my opinions, it would be the LHD in the 39 millimeter case. Stating that, we have yet to see anything else in 39 millimeters. So, Tudor, if you're listening to your fans, guys in the comments, let them know what you want to see. What do you want to see next? For me, I would love to see an all matte blue bezel, matte blue dial with recessed markers in 39. Instant buy for me. That's what I would love to see. So let me know what you guys think. Which of these four is your preference? And then if you're designing your own, which is your preference? So I'm trying not to make sure I don't bump those. Again, all four here. Looking forward to seeing what everyone has to say in the comments on this one. Thanks again for viewing. If there's anything we can do for you, anything at all, contact information in the description. We'll see you in the next video.